Oh yeah. Morning. All right, these are the gappers for the day. All right. Morning. What's going on? How's everybody doing? Oh yeah. You know. Hey, thanks, Mr. Rivera. Maxwell, how you doing, buddy? Morning, my friends. Jason, what's up? Mr. Axelrod. Elijah Muhammad, what's going on? All right, let's get to work. Hey, we're getting a little bit of weakness in the markets at the open here. It should take us right kind of under that 9 EMA a little bit. Overall, these have been pretty light pullbacks. Look, we were really extended and we were super overbought. So having like a 3-4 day pullback is not a big deal, especially because the nature of it is that it's such a small pullback. Fun times in yesterday's webinar. That's day 1 of 4. Thank you for everybody coming. That was pretty fun. I know we went a little bit late, but what can you do? My guys told me keep the webinar at an hour, and then about hour 3, everybody's like, hey man, you're a couple hours over time. What can you do? All right, so markets, this is still a bullish thing. It's just a small gap down, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. Frankly, it's still fairly bullish. We've had 1, 2, 3 days, but we barely moved here. So, you know, we're just pulling back a little bit here. I would still, you know, not be on the defense, but the offense. The market still looks pretty strong. Same thing with the SPY, right? Just a couple days, couple low volume, like orderly type days. Pulling back is really healthy in the market. So I am anticipating a bounce at some point this week, and all things are a go. Watch list for today. We had this on, man, I missed the boat on this on Friday. We had it on the list, and man, I took my eye off the ball. You could see like this thing had a flat top breakout, pushed back to the 9, and then it just ramped all day. I'd keep an eye on this one today. It's already gapping up, so I wouldn't chase it, you know, right into the strength. But if it's gapping up today, if it starts pulling back, watch that 9 EMA spot, just like yesterday. That's like when something gaps up too hard, what you want to do is, right, let it come back to that 9 and then start to gain some traction. You know, let it hold, let it gain some traction, and then kind of move your way back up to the upside. That usually helps when you get something like this, especially if the gap's too big, because it just takes out all the range on something like this. Especially this is probably like a coal stock or some bullshit. This Hasbro's coming out of range. It looks okay. The one thing on this one's going to be with Hasbro, it's a retail stock, so you know you can't chase it up into the spike at the open. You're going to have to let this one settle and round out a little bit. Retail stocks in general, like if you try to chase them at the open, you always get smoked. So I'd let this one pull back and keep an eye on it for later. This ITW, I'm interested in potentially shorting this one. You can see you're kind of testing this old support down here. Its earnings were out today. It needs to kind of hold really kind of under these levels right here. You know, don't let it pop up too far. I would, right now, with shorts, anytime you get a spike, you know, like it opens down weak, you can't hit it at the open. You've got to wait. So, like, see the Skeechers yesterday? Like, right off the first tick, it started to pop. Like, the shorts has to be, like, you've got to wait till it gets to the 9 EMA and then short it, and it may come back down. But, you know, you want to kind of let it pop and hit into the 9 before you go, because these gap down ones are just not working that well. You know, this LP&T is kind of gapping into resistance. So I think this one might be a dog. A bunch of people asked me about this one. You know, I'm not sure on this one because it is kind of like it's just gapping up into this range. So I'd be a little bit more thinking this one might fade back. So I'd be real careful with this one. Not my favorite out of the gappers because it's just not clean. Pets. Hey, TJ, what's up, baby? TJ, my friend, tell me something. Oh, yeah. Cool. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see here. New tab, new user. Hold on here one sec. Trying to open up this damn. Oh, there it is. Sorry, I gotta get this damn computer ready for showtime. All right, pet the cat. I like this one for a potential short too. It had some news out, earnings out. It missed its earnings, all that fun stuff. These type of kind of pharmaceutical stocks, when they do get the bad news out, they do typically get, they can get shredded. So I'd watch this one for an ORB pattern at the open or a quick pullback. Don't short it into the hole though. These things have been reversing because the market's been, if the market's been so strong. Dun, 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 dun. What are you guys watching? And we got RGNX. This one is actually cracking some support here too. I think this one might have some room to fall. It looks like there's a lot of little pharmaceutical companies that are getting beasted today. Okay. I'd keep an eye on this ESL for a base breakout. You had some news kind of midday on it and it just consolidated. But this is actually a pretty big move out of a big range of consolidation. Something like this. You can really, really shred this thing. You know, it's got 22 million share float, so you may have a little bit of upside in something like this. So I keep an eye on that. This WTI I also like a lot. You got one test, two tests, three tests over here. You're pretty close to a breakout. This is about, so since May, so 1, 2, 3 months. When you get kind of a 3-month consolidation near those highs, when you finally break over it, you know, you can get a decent run. So I keep an eye on that one. That's a hot chart. This is more probably of a swing trade look, meaning like a multi-day hold. Not the easiest day trade or oil stocks, but I think if this one breaks, you know, it's a swing. It's something you throw 1,000 shares at and, right, you hold it for a week or two. This BJ is almost ready. You can see right here, this thing's coiled up at this point. You're coming out of a flag pattern. So I watch this kind of trend line break over here. Look at the hourly charts. You can see you've got kind of this trend line building right up in this thing. Should be pretty good. MDB, I think you got about 59 is the level over there. This one too doesn't have a crazy amount of range. So like I'm looking at this one more for a swing trade. If it goes, you know, you may be able to hold this thing for, you know, a couple weeks. It tends to trend nicely, but it doesn't have enough range to day trade. Never been a good day trader. ZGN next, I'm looking for that pullback to the 9 at some point. So it's kind of after that big pop, just drifting down slowly. If it should gain some traction around in this area, and then it breaks that trend line, that should release it. And then this SE's been kind of acting like a little bit of a hoe, but at some point it's going to go. It's getting a little, just got to come out of that range. Yeah, Nazi. Pizza. Hey, Paul, how you doing? CDMO. Yeah, CDMO's got some momentum too. You could probably keep that on your list. Oh, yeah. All right, let's get this going. So typically, right, your favorite 6 names, you know, I always like to keep them on a separate monitor so I don't lose track of them. So like what you want to do is, you know, when you have your watch list, like you have all these damn names, right? So what do you do with it? So you want to start putting, right, your favorites. I usually just put them in order of what I like. So, you know, start filling these things out. You know, start filling these things out. So usually I put the longs on top, and then I'll put the shorts on the bottom. You know, and you want to really kind of go in. RGNX. What was the other one we were looking at? ITW, right? Cool. So I always put that on a different monitor so I don't lose track of these things. Because that's the worst. Like when you have a damn stock on your watch list and then like all of a sudden you just let that thing get shredded. You know, and you miss it. Happens all the time, but don't mean it's got to. Cool. All right, let's go do what we do. Yeah, so I do like high beta names like Netflix and Tesla. Tesla's just been stuck in a little bit of a range right now, so it's not been the best trader. But I do like high beta names in general. Dude, did anybody trade this IPO yesterday? I shredded this thing yesterday on this flag or on this VWAP trade yesterday. It's gapping up hard. It's a beast. So I'd add that one to your list too. All right, my friends. I'll be in the chat room. I got to get to my trading.